You have to have the passion, and you have to have I have a pee problem. Hi, it's Ray from Pro Shaper Workshop. We're back at it again on the Healey. Thanks for watching. I see people seem to be really enjoying taking this Healey and saving it. So we've got still a lot of work to do, and I always try to address the worst part at every beginning of every segment. The last segment we got the X measurements a little bit better here. They're within 1/8 of an inch or so. I thought that'd be boring. I'll probably do that off camera to fine tune that a little bit more. And the thing that's really bad now still is this problem here, and this needs to be ironed out. We might do a little bit of that, but this needs to be ironed out and shaped up first, I think. In order to do that, we need the diameter of this, and all we have is this radius because it's bent right here. So I had Mark make a little gauge on that radius, and from that radius we were able to make a diameter of a piece of cardboard. So we got to deal with this and see if we can get this to be where it's supposed to be. The little parking light needs a little addressing, little dent here, but then we'll slowly move that way. And with this gauge, once we get it fitting over here, then we'll try to get this in where it needs to go, and then iron this out. In order to iron this out, there's a couple little brackets on the inside here. If Mark can come around and show you these little brackets. So these are the Grille mounting brackets, and this one was in the way and it's broken right here, and this flange has to be all straightened out. So I took that out. It was 3 pop rivets, drilled them out, and took the bracket out of the way. And now I can work on that flange and be able to push this skin out because the flange was covering it before. Now, one of the comments on the comments section by one of the viewers, Adam Booth, must know his Healeys. He kept insisting that I had the right grill here, and I thought that I had the wrong grill, and he corrected me. And the way this goes is that, I'll have to figure it out again now. This goes on the bottom like this, and that's supposed to be fit right in there nice. And then there's an additional piece up the top here, an eyebrow. And I don't have the eyebrow. I might have the eyebrow in the collection of stuff I bought, but I don't have it currently. This is in perfect condition. It's a used one, and it's never been hit or anything. It's nice and straight. So this will allow us to get the correct curve across here, and this should fit in really nice and be able to straighten out that mess over there. And so that's the agenda, is to try to get this much better than it is. I don't know if we'll finish it tonight, but we'll make a good effort. All right, we really lucked out. We were able to move the shroud around in such a way that I wanted to be able to hammer against the bench here to knock this out. I got a piece of the wood that we used before. We'll knock that out, and in order to hold that up, we had Eric helping before, but Eric's away until I think January 4th. He'd be coming back. So we had these big jack stands we use under the lift, and they're really heavy, and we needed something heavy so that it just wouldn't slide down again. And we threw a piece of 2x2 light tubing in there, and we got a nice rubber clamp up there, so it's pretty secure. And then I got a vice grip over here grabbing it. So the first order of business is trying to get this headlight mount where it's supposed to be. And serendipity here, having this in this position, this makes this super easy to work now. Before it was kind of hard to work, but now I can work right on the top with a dolly or my shot bag underneath here. And I see that these brackets, I removed that one, I'm going to remove the other ones too because they're going to be in the way. They're just pop riveted in, so I think they're just aluminum pop rivets. They pop out really easy. I think the pop rivet was a World War II invention. I'm not sure who invented it, whether it was English or American. And the Brits were using it pretty early. I know a lot of the XK Jags, the early 120s, have a lot of pop rivets in them. So these brackets are rusted up pretty bad on the back side. They probably were never thoroughly painted. So we got a bucket of 911, rust 911. We throw it right in the bucket there. And those will be like brand new tomorrow. So yeah, you can see this is bent a little bit right here. So I'll have to hit that way a little. But let's see what happens first, just by hitting this down. And I don't want to squash the flange out, so I've got a narrow face on here. That will open that up a little bit. The flange is going to have to come down a little bit here. And the wood's splitting around it. So that helped out a lot. See, that was kind of pulled in, and that looks a lot better. There's a little mess down in there we'll get later. And then we'll hit the flange here. Get that flatter still. All right, so I think that helped out quite a bit. Now we have a problem here where this is the parking light flange or mount for the parking light. Let's see if we can knock that in a little bit. And we got a little crease right there. You can see where the paint knocked off and made that little crease. We've got a crease here too. We got to come out. Now if we go too much, it's not a problem because we can hit it back the other way. We got good access to hit both directions. That's real important. We get a dolly. I want to get a flat dolly. We'll put that under there and get a body hammer now. So I got my dolly and my trusty snap-on hammer. Straighten that out nice. A little bit there. And this, I'm going to put the dolly off a little bit here. You have to let that down to see how that's supposed to go. I think that's probably wrong right there. That might need to come down some. Oh yeah, there's a dent there, so it needs to come down. You put the shot bag under there. See how that straightened that out nice. Move this forward a little bit. The aluminum is really very malleable still. It moves really easy. Usually it age hardens. The aluminum does on the Jags. I found the aluminum they used on the Jags got really stiff. But this stuff is pretty nice. So yesterday I had a visitor from England come in, Andrew Wart, W-O-R-T, and he's the owner of a coach building firm on the south coast of England. And it was really a fun time having him here at the shop. You got to see all my projects, and his name of his company is Ashley and James. I think the website is www.ashleyandjamescoachbuilding maybe .uk, I think, something like that. If you do Ashley and James Coach Building, you'll find it in a Google search. So he's got a heck of a reputation. He's worked at Rod Jolly's, which is one of the premier small coach building firms in the 80s and 90s in the UK, and probably into the 2000s. I guess Rod is retired now and closed his business up. He's in his late 80s or mid 80s. But after that, Andrew went to, what's the name of it? Roach Manufacturing, which is another big coach building firm. They have as many as like 20 people working there. And they did all the Avis race cars for Audi about 10 years ago or so, and Andrew actually helped work on that project, and now he's partners with Miles. I don't know Miles' last name, and they have a coach building firm really close to where he trained at those two other previous firms. He does some amazing work, and it was fun having him here showing the different methods that we use here. He's coming back, and maybe we'll spend a day or two with me. He has a house in Rhode Island. It was a lot of fun, but one of the things we discussed was aluminum. I had him try my big yellow wheel because most of the English coach builders only use 3-inch wide top wheels and 3-inch anvils. So I had him try my big wheel with the 5.5-inch wide top wheel and a 4.5-inch bottom wheel. And he was quite surprised at how fast the metal moved in that. And the biggest surprise was the aluminum that we use, which he measures in metric measurement, millimeters. He calls it 1.5 millimeter, which is 63 thousandths here in the US. We used to get aluminum, I probably mentioned this in some videos before, we used to get aluminum that you could take the corner of it on 063 aluminum, and with one thumb you could bend the corner. But now it seems like the last, I'd say 6, 7, or 8 years or so, all the aluminum I've been able to buy is always from China sourced, I believe. And it's qualitatively harder, or quantitatively harder. 2 thumbs on a corner and you can't bend it. And I can work it, and I hated the stuff at first because all of a sudden I had this stuff that you could move easily, and now I had this really stiff aluminum. But I've grown to like the really stiff stuff because if you really have to do a lot of work on the panel, you can anneal it, and that makes it really soft, and you can work it really easy. But if the parts that you don't have to anneal, like on a low crown panel or something, by the time you're done, that panel is bulletproof. It's got dent resistance like you can't believe. So I've actually come to like it. The panels kind of sing when you hit them. They're almost got like a temper to them, nice temper. So we were talking about this aluminum, and I says, well, this is called 3003 here in the US, and they have different standards around the world. Europe, I think, uses a different one, but England uses a different one again. So he said that they used 3103, and I wasn't aware of that, and he called it an aircraft aluminum. And he gets it, what he called uncertified aircraft aluminum, so you can get it a little cheaper. And he said that worked pretty easy, that you could bend the corner with one thumb. So that was a revelation for me. And then he said there was some other people, and he just kind of shies away from it. They use this 1050 aluminum, and here it's 1100 aluminum, which is hard to get here. The 1100 aluminum is pure aluminum, which is a little softer than 3003. I think I might have used 1100 once, but I really don't have extensive experience with it. And it's not that easy to get. The 3003 is much easier to get, but I've never heard of 3103. And I've never heard of 1500, which must be like pure aluminum. 100% aluminum. and that is really, really soft. And I made a comment on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and another friend from England chimed in and said that it's really hard to get the aluminum there, and they have to wait a long time. And he said that it's so soft, it's like wheeling with pastry dough. So the world of aluminum working is not always the same everywhere in the world. It depends on what you get. I know in Australia, I've been told by my students that come from Australia that you can't even get 3003. They have to use 5052, which is a little stiffer, but it still works pretty decent. And that same way in South Africa, friends in South Africa told me they can't get 3003. That was some of the cool little revelations that we had just in a quick discussion. He was here for a couple hours, but it was a lot of fun having Andrew visit the shop. So let's go on here. We'll see if we can knock some more of these dents out. So this is all pushed in here, so now this is going to be really easy to pop this back. I think I'll get more of a rounded face. I've got a better hammer right here for that. This one's got a nice rounded face. I put a lot of these faces on. You really have to dress these hammers yourself. If you use that Harbor Freight little 6-inch grinder with my soft pad and adapter, you can you can start out with 80 if it's really bad. If you want to dress these, and you can dress these really beautiful, bring them up to at least 400 or more. I just restored a couple of these hammers, and these were with no handle, and they came in the auto body shop purchase that we made. And this is a nice little offset door skinning hammer. I'd never seen one before, so I cleaned it up with the foam pad. You can see I got a nice mirror finish on both ends. They'll get mocked up because they don't make the hammers really hard. Generally the Rockwell on them is about 40, and at 40 they're still possible to mar them up, so you have to dress them every once in a while. And I really like putting these grips on. We put them on all our shaping mallets and stuff. Set the wedge. Probably do a video on restoring one of these body hammers. They're really a work of art. I really like them. This is a Porter Ferguson. Porter Ferguson is a renowned hammer and auto body tool manufacturer, and I believe they're out of business. They have been for years. But any Porter Ferguson tool you can buy, it's a good buy. So let's hit this down a little bit. We're going to take our time. We don't have to wail on this. So the order of operations here is one, just push the metal where it needs to go. We're resetting the arrangement. And that's not going to really stretch it out. And then after we reset the arrangement, then there'll be a lot of flaws left, and then we're going to planish it. Planishing is little light blows with the body hammer, and preferably with the dolly, with the slapper rather. And we'll use a dolly on here too. And the nice thing about this is you have really good access to both sides. So if I push it this way too much, then I just got to push it back the other way. Now, if there's any stretching, we'll be able to feel the surface on once we get it planished nice. And if there's a high there, then we're going to take the torch on it and we'll shrink that little high out. It's a very fairly simple operation. It takes time. It's tedious. My 5 P's is one of them is patience. You have to have the patience. So, got to be patient with this. Let's try using this. I got one hand too little here. I need another hand. Hold on. Maybe I can use my leg as a beater bag here. So this is so much easier having it in this attitude here. If we had it the other way, it'd be so much harder to see it and to feel it and the whole bit. So this is really user-friendly now. So now we got a big mess here and here. Let's see if we can address that. We got a little bit of a mess right here too. That has to go that way right there. But I think I'll try to fix this little situation right here. We can refer over here to see what it looks like. It's not too damaged or anything there. So this is our fulcrum, and this is basically our lever. That came over pretty good. Now this needs to flip right over. Needs to go like that. I don't have the right dolly, but I'll go get one. I just want to say also a 10-day apprenticeship contest where people send in the videos and the essay, either video or essay, a 3-minute video or an essay, and the rules are all on the website proshaper.com. I think we've had almost 12 entries already, and they are just absolutely fantastic. And I might have to adjust the program because I think we're going to have multiple winners. There's just so much desire to come take that class and learn as much as they possibly can. There's some really great people. So we'll be pretty creative with how we deal with that. And that contest, I think, is over in a couple days, at the end of the year. And then we'll make the decision of who's going to win. And it'll depend on also when they come, will depend on when they can have time to do it. And the hotels and the meals and the stuff will be all on them, but the class will be entirely free for 10 days, so it'll be a fun time. And we're going to video a lot of it too. I'm going to get another dolly that I can reach in a little better there. I'll be right back. All right, I found this dolly here. This is a nice German manufacturer, Picard. We have some of their hammers in our Amazon store, and maybe we'll add a few more items in the Amazon store. They've got quite an extensive catalog of really nice high-quality bodywork tools. So the goal here is to get it better. It doesn't have to be perfect yet. We've got to walk to the finish line. We can't run to the finish line. So the information is kind of nebulous because we don't have any gauges yet. We got to make some gauges from this side here. We can see there's supposed to be a hill right here. Maybe we can ink that in with a magic marker to create that hill. And we're going to need a few gauges to guide us here. So we don't have any hill at all on this side right now. So we're just going to try to get it a little better. If it all comes together, wonderful. If it doesn't, that's okay too. It's ultimately going to be fixed. Now this has that rolled over edge, and we had to open that up before so we could knock that back. You can see right here there's a good little ding right there. That has to come that way. So I'm going to have to get another special dolly or striking tool to knock that out. And let's see, this needs a little attention here. Now, keep in mind, I've probably said this hundreds of times, but if you make a mistake, it's not a mistake. It's just like you just don't have the right information. So, ultimately, you'll figure out that you made a mistake. You move the metal in the wrong direction, so you just move it back. Metal is clay. You can do anything you want with it. If you abuse it, just like clay, you can break it, but nothing we're doing here is abusive right at the moment. And we don't have to heat this up because there's no real extreme folds or anything here. It's just kind of choppy water there that we want to kind of calm down. So it looks like that's almost a straight line right here. So that would be right here. I don't have a pen with me. That has to come up this way. We're just being visual rather than having the gauges right now. So make sure we got that approximately right here. So we want to put that mound back in it a little bit. So we'll knock this back up again. Stop and look and see what you're doing. Okay, so that's a little bit better. We got to take that knot out. We got to take that one out. And what's going on over here? That's right there. That has a little round to it, and this doesn't. This has this big pucker right here. So let's knock that down a little bit. So again, a gauge would be ideal here. We've got this little radius sort of right there. We got to put that in. Now you can see this is wanting to come together here. It's still a good ways away, but we'll get it. Now, and this has a nice radius here. It looks like this needs to come up like this. Like that. And we'll bring this down right here a little bit. That rounder hammer would be better. Now that's a nice little stretch right there. So we want to bring that back, and I'll get a special little striking tool to pop that out. This one we should be able to do with the dolly here. Let's see if we can hit it from this side or the other side. We'll try this side here. All right, so that little divot pretty much came out. And we'll go back to let's see if we can iron this out a little bit right here. And then we have this horrific mess right here in that divot. Let me go get the tool, the striking tool, to knock that out. So I found this nice striking caulking tool or chisel that's all rounded over. This has started its life probably as a mason tool for chipping away at cement and stuff, or breaking bricks. But you rework them, they're nice hardened steel, and that'll go right in there and knock that out nice. I need another hand. So I need something to hold that like that. Can you hold that, Mark?
All right. Doing the camera left-handed.
All right, Mark gets a lot of compliments. This is one of the points where, you know, he's holding the dolly, holding the camera. See what we got. I'm making a big boo-boo over there. That'll fix up. Let me get that now. All right, that helped it a little bit. We got to straighten that flange up. We made a big boo-boo here. Knock that back a little bit. Now, let's iron this flange out a little. Then you can see where this is way up right here. I need another caulking tool to get that, I think. Well, maybe let's try this. Help. I need Eric's help. I need another hand. This is when you call your wife into the garage and see if she's very cooperative. Maybe you got a son, that will help out. Might be better with the wife sometimes, though. I asked my daughter one time to help me wheel. I was actually making a panel, a hood for a 540K Mercedes, and I was putting a little bit of crown in the hood, and it was a real delicate operation, and I had my daughter on the other side of the big long panel, and she started doing this dance with the panel jumping all over. I yelled at her. She never came in the garage ever again. And then we take advantage of that edge there to get in there. All right, that's a lot better. Still not perfect, but it's going to need a caulking tool, I think. If I put it up on the bench here, I can hit against the bench. I think that's probably a good solution. I don't know if I'll get to it tonight. So let's see if we can undo this mess right here. In order to get this together, I got to get this headlight flange ironed out. And we might have to put that down in order to get that straight. I don't have any room to get under there or anything. I'm going to try to do a little bit more right in this area here. And then in order for this to come together, I really have to get this headlight right. And to do that, we're going to have to let it down again. But since we got it in this position, we've got a little ski jump here, and over there it's a nice graceful curve. Up here we got an accelerated curve, so we still need a little attention here. Need a pair of pliers to peel that back, so let me get a pair of pliers. Oh, I got my special Healey tool right here. Someone commented, boy, where can you get these? I says, that's a good question. I found these a long time ago. I have no idea what the source is of them. I can't even remember where they came from. I got to throw them in the soup, though. They got a little bit of humidity rust. It looked like they had some kind of screw there that would limit how much you could clamp with it or something. I don't know what their special purpose was, but they're well built. I don't know if there's any name on them or not. I don't see anything. Well, I'm going to throw these right in the soup so it'll be nice and clean tomorrow. This is Rust 911. That'll be like brand new tomorrow. Now you see how this overlaps here? That tells me this has to come like this. It doesn't want to seem to do that right now. Well, let's see if I put my hand here acting as the fulcrum and I hit over here. Let's see if that does what we want it to. We still got about a good 1/4 of an inch of overlap, so I'm going to have to figure out why that's overlapped so much. But I'm not going to focus too much on that right at the moment. So I did some research also on the Healeys, and they actually sent these over to Jensen Motor Cars, and I guess Jensen made all the aluminum bits for them. So that was pretty interesting. I always thought Jensen was a much smaller company, but I guess they were, but they were more skilled in working the aluminum, and Healey subbed it out to them. So thought it was an interesting little fact. All right, let's take a couple minutes off. We'll lower this down and see if we can get that headlight mount a little more like the way it's supposed to be. We go back over here, and it looks like that has to be opened up a bunch still, unless this is wrong. That's quite possible. So that has to open up a little bit more anyways. I'm not going to do that now, but this might be a little bit bigger. I wish I had the headlight and I could fit that on there. But you can see this one, it's opened up quite a bit, so this has to come together like this. And this is actually coming really close now. And we've got to get this curve right and this curve right, and hopefully we can take that information off of the less damaged side there. And let's see where our grill is. Yeah, our grill's going to help out a bunch. Now, I don't know if it goes this way yet or this way. I'll have to figure that out. Oh, it looks like it goes in that way. Look at that. Oh my God. It was made for it. So you can see over here, it's telling me exactly what I have to do. That corner's got to be pulled way forward because this side's fitting perfect. This side right here, this front, has got to go back a little bit. And this is great having this, so it's telling us exactly what we need to do. So that's going to work out sweet. So this corner has to come this way. Probably get some gloves and see if I can persuade it. The flange is holding it basically, so get a little protection. Yeah, let's see if I can just muscle that out. I'm not sure if I can. Maybe not. We'll see. No, it's not moving. So we might have to hit that somehow. And that front, was that out? I can't remember. Goes the other way. Yeah. Oh no, that goes right in there like that. Okay. Goes right on that lip. Yeah. That goes pretty good. So that corner right there has got to come this way. So that might be best done standing up again like the way we had it. So I might not address that right now. Maybe we'll try to get this headlight flange where it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to use that caulking tool or the chisel. Knock that out. This is very rounded. I got a square one. I'm probably better to go get the square one. Let me go get a square one. Well, I have one of the Harbor Freight hammers. This is a Harbor Freight door skinning hammer, and I modified it heavily. And this has got a nice little end I made Don't be afraid to modify your hammers. Grind them, you can reforge them. In this case here, it's glued into the handle, so if you reforge them, you're going to screw up that, but this one I just ground. So this fits right into this flange nice. I can planish that flange out without having a third arm. Now, there's a lot of little breaks in the aluminum here that cracked when it was in the accident. We'll have to stitch those all up later. So if you're doing this in your two-car garage and you don't have a wide assortment of hammers and dollies and stuff, you're going to be a little bit handicapped, but oftentimes the need is for that dolly or that hammer is when you got to stop, and you either have to modify a dolly that you have to do the job, or maybe go on eBay or something and find a nice vintage dolly. That's where I bought a lot of mine, on eBay and also on at flea markets. I always had an eye out for nice vintage dollies. What you want to make sure is you get a nice forged steel dolly instead of a cast one. Cast one's okay, but the forged steel are much better. A little bump in here, we'll try to get that out. Actually, I might be able to get that out with the chisel in here, my hammer. And it's got a little break right there too. That's a danger of using them. I don't think it broke then, I think it was already broke. But it's dangerous to use these sharp edges. That's why I use the Delrin tools a lot. And lots of little hits, just let them add up. You become a human planishing hammer. If it doesn't move, you can strike it a little longer stroke on your hammer. These are some really hard ripples here, so they need a little more attention. Actually, persuasion is what they need.
I don't think you realized, but that's the 6th P.
Persuasion?
Persuasion.
There's a time when lefties have an advantage over righties in some of these operations. You almost have to become ambidextrous to work the hammer right. Now the more I hit in the center here, the more I'm going to get this roundness, and that's what I want, that roundness. It's a little deficient right here, so I put my fulcrum block over here, my dolly, and this is my lever. I'm going to hit it. And you can see that roundness starting to come in now. Now the big fear here is that you'll do something wrong and you'll screw up. Remember, you're going to have to do a lot of stitching here with welding this stuff up. We're going to get it really clean, and we'll probably put some copper on the backside and weld those up. And again, if we push the metal in the wrong direction, we can always push it back, so you don't have to be afraid of screwing up. It's not an issue. I can planish this nice now here too. I can see it so much better. Probably bring in the slapper. Yeah, if you do a white slap like that, what happens is it'll highlight the high spots when you wipe it, and then it reveals the low spots, because the high spots get polished up a little bit from the slapper, and then you end up aiming for the low spots. So this poor Shroud had to wait about 40 years to get straightened out. It's been in the wilderness a long time. Down in the basement of Foreign Auto Body in Austin, Massachusetts. Probably replaced in the 70s, and you probably could have bought this Shroud back in the 70s for $600 or something like that. So they opted to go that way. But they saved it, and hopefully this will end up on someone's car that has one that's really corroded or beyond hope. This one looked like it was beyond hope, but we always have hope. Alright, so we can get that little kink up there. We'll see if we can put that edge up in there. This looks like it's hit way in here, so just to see how it's all rounded. Here it's nice, goes straight up. So this flange is really walked in. So now we're going to put the dolly here. Let's see if we can knock that flange out where it's supposed to be. In the process, we're going to mess up the flange a little bit. We'll have to straighten it out again. It seems like this Healey video series is pretty popular. The videos are doing pretty good. They're not doing 100,000 views or whatever, but they're getting close to 10,000 views. So there seems to be a lot of interest in this. And the only reason why they're not 100,000 is a lot of people don't know about my channel. And that's mostly probably the algorithm on YouTube that's holding me back. But it's slowly building. Look at that, that's coming out pretty nice now. We got that roll out of there. Now we got to straighten that flange out again. So we'll go back to the hammer a little bit. Now we started this video at 8:30 at night, and I believe right now it is
10:45.
It's 10:45, so it takes a bunch of time to do these. And Mark has to drive an hour home, so he hasn't been signaling me yet, but he will be in a few minutes, so we're going to have to cut this short pretty soon. But I think we made some really good progress here. All right, so that has to go in right here. All right, and then this has to go in a bunch. So actually working it this way is very advantageous. Working it the other way was great too. Between the two of them, it's really solving the riddle here, so it's coming out nice. Very satisfying to do this, to save this. We have a damaged E-type nose that we were able to get in this body shop buy, and that will become a series, straightening that out. And once we get that out, I'll have my information back again so we can finish up that aluminum E-type nose we started, I don't know, like a year and a half ago or so, or 2 years ago. So let's see. This has to get that flange a little bit better. We still got overlap right here. So I think we're going to have to make some gauges to get this to be in the right shape that we need it. And it'll take probably an hour to make gauges, so we got to make a whole bunch of gauges and get all this right. So probably at least a half a dozen or more gauges, and then we got to orient them over here. But that headlight ring is starting to get its right look. This ironed out pretty good tonight. I think we made some really good progress, and I'm really happy with it. I think people probably learned a little bit tonight. So I think we're going to have to call it here because it's going to be a little bit too much to get this all ironed out tonight. This is getting late. It's 10:45. Mark's got to get home, and please remember to like, subscribe, share, give us the comments. So thanks again for watching. Tell all your friends about the Pro Shaper Workshop channel. There's a lot more coming. And remember, to do this work, you have to have passion. This is the 5 Ps. We're going to make a t-shirt, and we'll have it up on T. It's the direct link is in on all the videos, and you can buy this t-shirt. And it's pretty applicable to a lot of different things besides just metal shaping. So remember, when you're doing this kind of work, you have to have the passion to do it, and you have to have patience. You got to have a lot of patience, and you have to have the precision. Like I mentioned, we're going to have to make these gauges that will give us the right, correct contours, and without those gauges, we don't have the precision. So those are going to be made the next episode, and you also have to have persistence to stay with it, and it's not a bad thing to do a little prayer once in a while too. So we call them the 5 Ps, and I think some of our commenters are going to add a few more Ps, but it's a pretty good universal lesson there. So thanks again for watching. It's Ray from Pro Shaper Workshop.